Guys, deluded, I'm back again. Sadly, as in fact, not even sadly, a more serious video. Marvin Sordell, the guy that if you guys are alert enough or know about him, I believe at a point he played for Bolton. He's currently playing in League Two. I cannot remember the club he's playing for. He's represented his country at under 21s championships. He's also represented them at the Olympics in 2012. So he's had a decent career. He's played Premier League football at one point, so he's achieved a dream. I mean, he's getting a lot of money in the game, or has you'd assume he's accumulated a decent fortune playing football. So you would think, what's his problems? What you got to be angry about? What you got to be upset about? Like fans constantly pander this rhetoric that because you're getting paid money, your mental health can't be affected, and he's come out with I believe he's releasing a book of poems or a poem because well, we'll get into it, but he's releasing a poem. That's the reason I saw this interview. But yeah, he's given an interview in the Guardian or somewhere, I believe, in regards to mental health, and he actually tried to kill himself, like sadly, and that doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's testament to the amount of battles that footballers go through, and for every man brave enough, regardless of being a footballer, for every male, because we do, come on, let's keep it real, people. Everybody's suffering from mental health and suicidal thoughts and all of these sort of things, but it's typically, sadly, males that don't really speak up or see it as a sign of weakness, or the ones that do want to speak up, they don't really want to speak to loved ones or people close to them for fear of how it might affect them, and all of these things. So it's sad for every one person like Marvin who speaks up and them things, there's millions who won't. Hopefully these things change and things, so it's nice to see, man, and I hope that someone's seen what he's been speaking about and they go and either get help or see that it's not just them going through it and things. And I actually have to give credit to his wife, to be honest, but yeah, he's opened up about his depression, how he I don't want to ruin it for you lot, so you should read it, but he's opened up about his battle with, he tried to overdose on tablets, depression. He actually touched upon how he's mentioned it to clubs more or less, but we've still got a long way to go in regards to fixing that. Yeah, it's a real test of mental strength for him, man. I mean, it's hard. You get it's a real eye opener, man. Like he said so much. I don't know what to even include in this fit. Um, he one thing that scared me is when he said he felt dead inside. Like you've got like that's really scaring someone, because I felt like that to a degree. He felt dead inside. In fact, when he said he overdosed on the tablets and he woke up, he said, "What now?" Most people would see that as a release or things like that. He thought, "What now?" So he genuinely wanted to go at one point, and that really upset. That really upsets me, man. It really upsets me. Yeah, like it's sad. It's sad, and it's testament to his wife, which I was trying to say, because she told him to see a psychiatrist, and he broke down in front of the psychiatrist. And that's not, again, crying with males we need to get rid of this rhetoric that if you cry you're weak, people, because you're not. I do honestly believe in regards to mental health or seeking strength, I do believe you need to be broke down in order to be built again. What I mean by that is it takes a lot to come out and admit these things, and it feels like you've been in a battle or a fight or a war and you feel jaded. That needs to come out before you can be rebuilt again and say, all right, cool. You aren't going through. You're not any different from anyone else. You're not a weirdo. You're not this and that. How can we rebuild your positivity? And it's again testament to his mental strength as well, because he's a footballer. He's undoubtedly seen abuse on his social media and people critiquing his footballing ability. It made him depressed, not playing at clubs, being stuck in a maze. Managers, sorry, speaking, trying to sort out his future via his agent, not him, and telling him he actually has to go on loan, or his lack of playing time will be deteriorated even more, and all kind of not blackmail, but kind of these sort of things that people don't really see. It's sad, man. It's really sad. And even when people aren't taking a chance on him because he's labelled too difficult or too miserable, you can see how this feeds in when he's really, I don't want to say he's misunderstood, because it's not, because everybody goes through this. And I'm happy that he's managed to find a release through creating poems, and I'm not too sure if it's a series of poems, people, if it's one long poem, but it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that, man, because ultimately it gives him a release. Every time he might get a trigger or something like that, he can see there's a release, there's another way to go, you don't have to do certain things, and all of that. He's also said he's struggled throughout his career as well with not being himself, in the sense that he feels players aren't allowed to really be themselves, and to a degree that's true. For all the riches and ultimately having a dream profession, I guess players have to give up to a degree who they really are as a person, because if we really knew a certain of these players, what they think, what their interests are, you might love them more, but equally you might hate them. I mean, the footballers, they have to give rehearsed pre-game talk, post-game talk. They have to speak a certain way, reply a certain way, or they're going to be labelled as something they're not. And I mean, the anomalies throughout the footballing world that you've seen, that they've had troubles or they've been labelled certain things. Even players not like that. Every player nowadays is labelled as something. Look at Luke Shaw, how many managers and people come out, and even the manager's cool because they're working with my man. What can you say? But look at the fans. He's got a bad attitude. He's got this. The same about Martial. How do you know that if you're not working with them? And it hurts. Like I said, man, it's nice to see that he's managed to use poetry as an escape, as somewhat to give him along with professional help and them things. People, it's helped him to cope. He had to take medication for once upon a time to deal with this issue, but he's now come off that, and it's nice to see he's on the mend and he's able to, I don't want to say give back, because in an ideal world this shouldn't be a thing, but give back and raise awareness for these sort of things, because there's people fighting equally, if not harder battles, even if you can say that, behind the scenes. And I must admit, man, he must have a lot to speak about, because in the footballing world he's seen that. Obviously, if you remember 2012, in October 2012, there was a racial incident. In fact, he was the victim of racism twice in the same month against Millwall. And obviously, you saw with Danny Rose, Tom Ince, and a lot of them play England under 21 players at the time when they played Serbia. So you can see how he's been through a lot. And if I'm honest, even if I look at Marvin Sordell, if you said most people's opinion of him, I would actually say not a very good footballer. So it's sad, but that's what I would say. So if I'm saying that, and that's just my respectful opinion, and he clearly is a good footballer because he's playing professional football and done more than I would want to do. For every just calm opinion like that is not my cup of tea, better yet, he's not my cup of tea. Some people will take it over the top, some people will question him, and obviously with social media, there's no turning off. If you just type in your name, you see the madness in it. So he's undoubtedly had to deal with a lot at many clubs he's been to, and obviously people might have even said he fell from grace, because he came, I wouldn't say he was a youngster, but at a decent age, he was playing Premier League football, and he's somewhat not really had interest from top clubs and all of these sort of things, and just spiraled down into League One. I know I wasn't even planning on doing this, people, but if I just go on Google quick, hopefully I have enough time. Marvin Sordell, sorry, pardon me, people. See, look, I felt dead inside. Writing is the only way to get emotions out. That's great on him. He's 27 years of age now, people, and he's playing for Burton Albion. And he's come up through Fulham's academy before getting released. He played for Watford. He went Tranmere on loan. Then he went to Bolton permanently, Charlton, Burnley, Colchester, Coventry, and Burton Albion. And even if I look at the Burnley space, he failed to score. So he could have. These sort of things question you a lot, man. And to be honest, he's had a great, from his early on in his career, he's had a great amount of resilience, because I'm so sure I used to read about him back in the days, and he actually, becoming a footballer, he was actually released by someone and then earned a deal at Watford. So he's someone that's probably stronger than he'll ever know. The problem is, we all have weaknesses. We all need help and things like that. And for me, when people say suicide is selfish and all of these things, yeah, you can say that, but you need to understand that suicide is an illness. For someone to concede that is the only way out, to escape the pain, to benefit themselves, you have to be sympathetic and see that, how did they get to this point? And even if you do call it selfish, there's nothing wrong with being selfish in regards to mental health anyways. I'm not saying everyone should kill themselves, but what I'm saying is, mental health is something you really need to look after yourself first before you can help other people. So if we flip it on its head and put it a bit of a negative way, if a man is seeing that that's the only way he can get out, and I don't want to say he doesn't care for his loved ones, but if that's the only way generally people can only get out of it via that, then you have to question how they got to that point and be sympathetic. I know everybody, when someone goes through mental health, or they hear stories like this, or someone's taken their own life, everyone becomes a mental health expert, and it lasts for a day, and then you're back to bantering people about their physical appearance and all of these things on social media and whatnot. Like I said, man, at the end of the day, he's breathing, he's fought back, so he is a winner. A winner is someone that refuses to give up.